diagnosis carries a story and every treatment carries hope. Welcome to Doctors on Air, where science is guided by empathy and every conversation puts people first. Medicine is not practiced in isolation. It lives in families, communities, and nations. Today we'll be talking about Stronger Together, survivors' stories and community support in honor of the World Cancer Day. Today, we are fortunate to have with us Dr. Lola Salako, clinical oncologist from the Pearl Oncologist Specialist Hospital. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
With us.
Thank you, Dr. Pamela.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Same here.
Now, it's the World Cancer Day. It comes around every year. People say, why they keep talking about this cancer of a thing? There's a lot of people who don't, who what I call play the ostrich. They want to pretend cancer doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. But cancer is real. And cancer is no longer a death sentence. So can you tell us about cancer? What's new about cancer? Why people need to know about cancer every World Cancer Day?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Pamela. 3 things I would like people to know is the fact that cancer is a disease that is changing. And it's important that we appreciate that 40% of cancers are preventable. If we're going to win the war against cancer, it starts with cancer prevention. And 40% of the cancers I treat can be prevented: colon cancer, cervical cancers, certain types of breast cancers, cancers related with HIV or hepatitis B, and so on and so forth. So the first thing is cancer is real. We must prevent cancer. A lot of cancers are not preventable, but we can treat it if we detect it early. So what is cancer? Cancer is a type of disease that starts within the cells. And I like to make this clear that cancer is not something that comes from outside per se. It's something that goes wrong on the inside. And most people have produced a cancer cell. A cancer cell is produced when there's a mistake in that cell or the genes trigger a mistake. Luckily, nature is able to help everybody who produces a cancer cell to delete that abnormal change. However, sometimes the immune system doesn't pick it up. So I just want to make it clear that cancer cells are abnormal cells for whatever reasons: genetic mistake, exposure to viruses, environmental exposure, and so on and so forth. An abnormality occurs in the cell that makes the cell divide very fast. And so when we feel lumps and we say, this lump is cancerous, it started from a cell. And so cancer is when cells divide very fast, uncontrollably, and they have the potential to spread.
Now, I'm so happy you actually said cancer starts within you, because there's so much stigma associated with cancer. I don't want to be near that person just in case I catch cancer. You can't catch cancer. It starts de novo in you. And I think it was almost like a light bulb going off when you said that. That people need to realize it. And people are constantly producing these cancer cells. It's just that some people, from what you said, have a stronger immune system and are able to crush them, as opposed to others who can't. And then it starts developing and growing.
And hides from the immune system for a long time.
Okay. I think that's the important thing. And so the issue of cancer survival, how has it improved over the years? Is it because we've been able to help the immune system? What's the treatment? Because now they're saying cancer is curable. So can you tell us about that? Why is it curable now and it wasn't then? Is it the kinds of therapies that are used?
So it's many reasons why we can cure cancers. The first is early presentation. We want patients to present at stage 0 instead of stage 1. We want them to present at stage 1 instead of stage 2. In Nigeria, 70% of our patients present stage 3, stage 4, where the chances for cure are very, very low. We can treat, but very, very low. Now, how do we detect cancers at stage 0? Because most times at stage 0, there are no signs, there are no symptoms. But the way we can pick it is through screening and checkups. And that's why it's important everyone, as long as you're an adult, you should go for your annual medical checkup. The second reason for better survival, apart from people are, doing their annual medical checkup, is the fact that a few more people are presenting at curable stages.
Early stages.
Early stages, stage 1, stage 2. So we have a woman with a breast lump and it's as small as granite. That's stage 1. At stage 2, it's a bit like agbalumo seed. Then at stage 3, it's like agbalumo fruit itself. And then at stage 4, it's any size, but it's spread to other parts of the body.
It's very interesting use agbalumo, especially since agbalumo is in season now.
Yeah. My favorite fruit. A reason for survival is the fact that we're able to catch the cancer when it is smaller. It has less tumor burden, it has less cells. So we tend to focus on the cancer that we can see and we can touch. But most oncologists are worried about the cancer cells that we can't see, we can't touch. We call them microscopic. So survival is better when someone presents with stage 1, stage 2 disease, or preferably stage 0. Another reason for better survival is that many more patients have access to treatment. There are more cancer centers, there's less waiting time. There's still a lot of waiting time, but when you compare to 10 years ago, it's not as bad. People were waiting for a month to get on radiotherapy machines. Now it's down to 2 weeks. So we have more radiotherapy centers, we have more chemotherapy centers, we have more specialists. We do need more, it's not enough. We have 100 clinical oncologists to 100,000 cancer patients. That is one reason why many people are not surviving cancer. In Nigeria, the 100 clinical oncologists are scattered around 18 states. That means half of our country do not have a clinical oncologist seated to collaborate with the surgeon and other specialists. And so many people are not able to access life-saving quality cancer care because of where they live or where they reside. Another reason why our survival is better is because our spiritual leaders, some of them are supporting and encouraging their congregation to go into the hospital. Yes, we'll pray for you, fast, do everything spiritual, that's important, but also,
That's so important. So we're talking now, fortunately, about cancer survivors. That's what we're here to talk about, because we have people, unfortunately, in the next half, we're going to actually be talking to cancer survivors directly. So the issue is, what does it mean to be a cancer survivor? And I'm going to talk to them face to face on that. But from the medical perspective, what are the kind of physical and emotional challenges that survivors face before, during, and after treatment?
Okay, and thank you, Dr. Pamela, because there's a transition. So someone is diagnosed with cancer, that's the diagnostic phase. And then they start treatment, and that can go on for a year. Then they complete treatment, and that can go on for forever, till their lifetime. And so there are like 3 stages a survivor will go through, and there are 2 definitions. The first definition of a survivor is from the day you are diagnosed with cancer, you're a survivor. It doesn't matter if you live for 1 year or 50 years, you're a survivor. And there's another definition that says after diagnosis, after treatment, from the last day of treatment and till the person's lifespan, that is survivorship. What I like to say is, it's your life. You choose your definition. You choose what you're comfortable with. As a clinician, I am very comfortable with the definition of from the day of diagnosis, because many patients then make mistakes with the decisions. Should I start chemotherapy this week, or should I wait for 1 year? All of those decisions impact the survival rate. So someone who's diagnosed, who makes quality decisions, has a better survival chance.
Okay. Now, you've written a book, and we're fortunate enough to have it here. Can you show it to us?
Oh, yes, please.
It's called Gifts of Survivorship. You are bigger than cancer. So can you tell us about what it's about and why you wrote it?
Thank you. So for 20 years, I've been practicing and taking care of cancer patients. And one of the things that breaks my heart is how many patients focus on the diagnosis the diagnosis takes away their mission, their purpose, their vision, their marriage, their business, their career, and everything about their life is focused on that cancer. They are kind people, but because cancer has taken away their peace, they become otherwise. Cancer should not touch certain things. And that diagnosis, I have seen it, still not just people's health, but break families.
And still their joy.
Still their joy, still their purpose. Every human being is on earth to fulfill a mission. And cancer is one of the distractions, one of the self-doubts, one of the reasons why people do not fulfill. And it's not that the person is not living long, it's that they just get distracted. And I have written 10 pillars in the book. GIFTS is an acronym. And the first pillar is G for God. It's the pillar that talks about people having faith and staying strong. It talks a bit about gratitude, forgiveness. The second G is goals, having goals in life. The goals you had before you were diagnosed and the goals you must fulfill, and just being realistic with life goals relating to the diagnosis. Then there's building the cancer IQ, and that's I for information. Then there are 3 Fs, food, fruits, family. And then there are T is for treatment, and then 3 S's. Songs, very important in setting the mood. Serenity, finding peace and calm during the storm like cancer. And we talk about sleep.
I want to say a very big thank you to you coming on the program and talking to us and being with us and sharing with us your experience. And I want to recommend the book highly, that people should get it. If they have it, or if they have people who have been given a diagnosis of cancer, I think it's important to have this kind of book. It helps you to survive. And we'll be talking more. We haven't had a chance to talk about OncoPaddy, which is one of the survival tools. It's an online app that you have created to help people to build a community, particularly where they don't have one. And I think that we'll be talking about more to do with cancer survival in the next half. Welcome back to Doctors on Air. In the previous half, we spoke to Dr. Salako, who explained to us some of the details of what it takes to be a survivor. Now we're very fortunate to have with us 2 survivors who are going to tell us their own personal experiences. And I want to thank you, Kehinde Olusoji, and Akin
Adewale.
Adewale. Thank you so much for coming on the program. It's a pleasure to have both of you here with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If I can start with you, Kehinde, can you tell us what you're a survivor of and how it all started? The symptoms, the signs. Just quickly give us a rundown of how you made it and for how long you've been a survivor.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, everyone. So I was diagnosed of cancer, of breast cancer, in the year 2019. That was October 2019. That was roughly the time they were doing awareness of breast cancer. So I actually went to a girls only school. So I was aware of checking your breast, most especially during or after your period. So it's not as if I have a family history or something, but because I was aware of it. So during that October 2019, I was just in the bathroom. Normal, I was checking my breast. So I felt a lump on my right breast. So I was like, what is this? I was like, because I know breast cancer is a death sentence. So I was like, I beg you, anytime, when you see lump like that, the first thing that comes to your mind is cancer. You don't even think maybe it can be cyst or something. So I was like, I don't have money. I can't go to hospital. But I kept it to myself. But I don't know, like some months after, it was giving me like a burning sensation. So that was what prompted me to run to the hospital because of the burning sensation of it. So when I got to the hospital, they were like, okay, go for scan. I went for scan. The scan was like, it's very, very suspicious. So I went back to the hospital. They asked me to do a lumpectomy. I did a lumpectomy. So 3 weeks after, the result came as being malignant. So then I was diagnosed. And I was devastated. That was like beginning and the end of my life. So I literally cried from the hospital down to my house. And when I got home, I crashed. I was working then in a bank. I didn't go to work again. I didn't tell anybody. I just crashed. So I didn't know what to do because I don't have money. I didn't really have any family support. And my marriage was at the verge of collapsing. So who will I talk to? So I just kept it to myself. So unfortunately for me, when I was crying from the hospital down to the house, a woman sitting beside me in the box was asking me that, "Madam, why are you crying?" So she followed me down to my house because she was so concerned of why I was crying. So I had to voice out to her that this is what happened to me. I've just been diagnosed of cancer. So that was when she was not encouraging me that, okay, there's some foundations and there's some this way and that way I could go. So that was the only person that I could speak with because she kept checking up on me to make sure that I really go to the hospital. So that was how I found myself to go to the hospital.
And so you went to the hospital, you had treatment?
Yes, I went to the hospital. The hospital asked me to do other scan and all of that. So I was scheduled for a surgery. And from there, I met a foundation, Bracon Foundation. So they took it up, you know. So surviving cancer it's not a fight for you alone. It's just like a strength you get from the community. So from there, a survivors today.
Fantastic.
Adewale Adepoju. I was diagnosed of stage 4 colorectal cancer. And after some
When?
2024, 2024, March 2024 officially, I was diagnosed with a poorly differentiated adenocarcinoma of the colon with a nodal metastasis. So after some symptoms, after experiencing some symptoms, we include persistent stomach pain, bloating, constipation, unlimited weight loss, fatigue, diarrhea, blood in the stool, in which most of us doesn't even pay much attention to. That blood in the stool could be a sign of colorectal cancer. Blood in the stool, diarrhea, and night sweat. So those are the symptoms I experienced. So after some series of examination, tests, do this, so I was officially diagnosed March. So when I got my diagnosis, I was so devastated that no, even the doctor was
How old were you?
I was about to clock 30.
29.
Yes, that was when I got my diagnosis. The doctor was even surprised. How old are you? Are you smoke? Do you smoke? I said no. They were in shock. So when I got my diagnosis, I met with my surgeon and he told me to get a colonoscopy, and we did everything. So that was how I was referred to the oncologist. So as she prepared the treatment plan, I started with chemo, 4-4 regimen. I did like 4 rounds of 4-4 regimen. Then I had intestinal obstruction. After my 4 rounds of chemotherapy, I had intestinal obstruction. So I had an emergency surgery. I did a right extended colectomy with partial gastrectomy. So some portion of my colon was removed and they joined it with my stomach. So that was how I was able to survive the surgery. So another shocking thing happened when I did my surgery. I had a wound breakdown because of the metastasis to my
Skin.
to my abdomen, to my umbilical cord. That was where I had the metastasis. So I couldn't continue with the treatment. I used like 3 months to manage the wound to heal up. Then I was referred back to my oncologist. So due to the fact that it's an advanced cancer, my doctor sat me down there. This is an advanced cancer, and I don't think you will benefit only from chemo. So do some advanced tests. We call it immunohistochemistry. So I did KRAS, MSI, and R2, in which I was negative to those genetic mutation. So I have a RAS Y-type gene mutation. So when I met with my oncologist, he told me I'm going to include what we call a targeted therapy.
Fantastic.
So this is an advanced cancer treatment. So I combined them with chemo, though it was very, very expensive. Cancer treatment is very expensive. Even in the course of this journey, even though I don't have anybody to encourage me, though my family were very supportive, because I never knew what cancer was like. Cancer was preached to us, was introduced to us at the death sentence. So when I got the news, I just felt I would die. So all the treatment I was doing with faith, with one mind that, okay, I can survive this. So after my after my surgery, I met with my oncologist. I started my chemo combined with targeted therapy. I did like 4 to 5 rounds. So after the 4 to 5 rounds, it worked well.
Yeah.
I improved still well. So I did a CT scan to check the progress. Then that was why I got remission. That was why
Praise God.
everything cleared up.
Amazing.
So I've been in remission since 2025, see, March, yes.
And you're looking good. For a person with the description you had before, I'm sure you must have been almost like a skeleton.
Of course, I was looking like a skeleton. No, no, looking like a skeleton, obviously. So I was on remission since then. I do follow-ups. At least 2025, I did follow-ups like 2 to 3 times.
So for me, what I love about this is we have early detection and we have late detection. But the fact is that both of you are survivors, and your survivorship also obviously came with the community. I'm going to ask you about Brycon in a second, but yours is modern medicine.
Yeah.
Okay. On the previous section, the doctor spoke to us about how cancer cells arise in everybody. Okay, they come to everybody. It's not something that comes from outside. It comes de novo within you, but usually your immunity is able to beat it down. But when you have, for example, what you had, which was an opportunity to have modern medicine, or what they call targeted therapy. And that's what they talk about, genomics nowadays. That's the new way forward. Everything is according to your genes and how your basic makeup is. That is what has boosted your immunity, and the cancer can't hide. And I thank God for that. And that's wonderful. And also your faith in God has also played a huge part in that. So that's wonderful. So when we're talking now, talking about community and survivorship. Can you tell us about the Brycon, a bit more about them and how they and their community helped you to survive?
Thank you very much. Actually, when I was diagnosed, I came across Brycon Foundation, and that changed my being a survivor today. Because the fact is that surviving cancer also depends on people around you. You know, like when I was diagnosed, nobody knew what a cancer meant, even me. So once you fall into the hands of somebody that knows what cancer means, you have survived it to some bit. So I met with Brycon Foundation, Mrs. Abigail Smart Heart. So she educated me, she listened to me, she counseled me, and they fund my treatment to some extent. Fantastic. So the fact is that Brycon Foundation is still on, and it's just like a support community for cancer survivors, in that they educate, they support cancer survivor emotionally, and they also they do so many things. Like for example, like even though for now they can't continue with the funding of treatment because it's not sustainable, but they still do other things. Like most cancer survivor children are going to schools, they are funding their school fees, and there's also a food support that they are giving to cancer survivors. You know, they don't,
people who need nutrition.
Yes,
because after chemo and all that, you need good nutrition.
Yes, and last year we had a Project Rise. We launched a Project Rise, which that they have to support the cancer survivor businesses. You know, when you go through this survivorship, you've spent literally everything you have. So they raised some funds. They're going to use that to support businesses for them to go back to the society and to be able to sustain themselves. So they've done a lot for us. They are really a good supporting community for this cancer space. So, and their Instagram page is the Brycon Foundation, and their email is info@bryconfoundation.org.ng.
No, that's great. I think for me, there's just so much we would like to talk about, but there's very little time. So just in 1 minute, can you just, and for me, I'm just so proud that you also both of you achieved your remission here in Nigeria. Nobody had to go abroad for anything. So can you just give us one word for our listeners, so one word of advice you'd like to give people listening to help them become survivors if they have a diagnosis of cancer?
Cancer survivor, I say this, you have to live in the moment. Because yesterday has gone, it can never come back. And tomorrow is not promised. So you have to live in the moment with resilience and gratitude. Live in the moment.
Thank you. And from you?
The fact is that if you are being diagnosed with cancer, you get your strength by speaking out. Your first healing comes by not closing your mouth. Speak out. We have so many people, community people, support group, even strangers. Because during my treatment, I didn't see any family support. I didn't see any friend. I saw only a stranger coming to help me. So you don't hide it to yourself. Your beginning to survive comes by speaking out. Speak out. You are not looking weak. You are not weak by speaking out. Instead, you are gaining your strength. So you just have to speak out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
On Doctors on Air, we seriously appreciate your coming to share your experience with us.
Our pleasure.
Because a lot of people hide, and that's why you're talking about speaking out. People who speak out, they receive the strength, they receive the encouragement that they need. So thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your being with us on Doctors on Air. Today on Doctors on Air, we have been so fortunate to share the experiences of Kehinde and Adewale. It's so important that people come out and talk because it reduces the stigma and helps people to know that cancer is real, but cancer survivorship is real, and you can get all the treatment that you need here in Nigeria. So we want to encourage everyone who is out there, anyone who has a potential diagnosis, please seek treatment, seek help, and do it now. Thank you very much.